like figure something out, and I was like, I produce a podcast.
Let the professional work.
Yes. I'm so tired. I know.
Thank you. And it gets cold.
Should have shut the door.
Shut it.
Those peepers.
Are you? Stupid. Crickets, but I love you because you're my favorite sound. All right, whatever. We'll sweat.
It'll be quick.
You want to open this one because I did the last one?
Medicine cabinet.
And then I can jump into like some of the things.
We good?
We're good.
3, 2, 1. Welcome back to episode 10 of the Living Roots podcast. So this is going to close out our series that we've been doing of just simple swaps that you can make in your home. One thing that we really wanted to make sure that we covered was your medicine cabinet, because obviously if you know either one of us in real life, or if you follow us on Instagram, either the Living Roots podcast account or our personal accounts, we don't do things the traditional way. And it's taken us a while to kind of figure that out. But here are some of the things that we make sure that we keep on hand, because we're not reaching necessarily for your average like over-the-counter thing. So always we want to preface that this is not medical advice and we're not telling you what to do or what you should be doing or should not be doing. But if you're looking for other alternatives to some of these more conventional, traditional, I don't even want to say traditional because it's more traditional to use natural things, but
normal,
more like pharmaceutical products, and you're trying to kind of get away from that, then here are some options, things that we use, and just kind of do with that information what you will.
Exactly. So kind of like Danielle said, we like to have things on hand, whether or not we ever have to use them. That's another story. Thankfully, I'd much rather have an ear oil for the kids on hand, and then they never have had an earache, so I never have to use it, right? But like she said, like we won't, if our kid was not feeling well, or if we weren't feeling well, say it's the middle of the night, we can't run to like our 24/7 Walgreens, you know what I mean, to get what we're looking for. We usually have to go to our local health food store or, something of that sort. So
our favorite store that we'd like to hold hands and walk down the aisles in, because they have our natural crunchy
Food
stuff.
Matters. Was that Morganton?
Yes.
Yeah, Food Matters in Morganton has all of the things which I love. And then also local shout out to the Health Hut in Hickory. I get all of my homeopathic options from them. They probably think I'm crazy because I go in there probably at least once a month and just pick up a couple new things because I don't want to buy all the things at once and spend all the money. Yeah, I'm like, oh, do you have anything for a headache or this or that? So they probably think I'm always sick, but I'm not. I just have the things in case. We also host a lot, so when our family comes out and things like that, I want to make sure that we have options for them if anybody else was not feeling their best. So one of going back to the homeopathic options that we get from Health Hut is the Boiron brand. They have the homeopathic pellets for pretty much everything.
Anything you could think of, and even things that you would not think of. You're like, wait, what?
Yep. I just stand there and read the bottles, and sometimes Travis and I will laugh, they thought of everything, shoot. But then some of the ones that we definitely have on hand are ones for a sore throat, yellow mucus, allergies. Yes, she's allergic to her cat Bobby, so we always have allergy stuff here. We have upset stomach, diarrhea, gas, bloating.
I have the teething one for Sage, and she knows what they are, and she'll point to them, and she just kind of holds it in her mouth or gently chews on it with her little gums where the chew is hurting her, and they make a big difference for her.
Yeah, and then they also have the Chestal ones for kids. So I feel like the Boiron, I know you can't use for kids, but then we also have a kid-specific homeopathic line, which is the Chestal brand, and we do that for every now and then if she gets a runny nose or if clear is fine, but if it turns a little yellow, she loves them. They're sweet. So they're these, how do we describe it? They're these absolutely tiny little pellets. There's these tiny little white balls, and you just put them under your tongue, you hold them there, and you let them dissolve. Shay sometimes just like crunches them up.
Yeah.
But they're sweet. They all taste the same. They're not like different flavors.
It's a minuscule amount of whatever, like an allergen or like whatever it's specifically for. It's a little minuscule amount, and it's meant to stimulate your immune system.
Yeah.
So you take a little bit, like often, like every few hours.
Or some are 15 minutes. Like
yes.
some are, for the first hour, so every 15 minutes, take 5 pellets under your tongue.
Yeah.
And then it's like every 2 hours or as needed.
Yeah.
But the first, I think, dose is.
Yeah. It's just supposed to stimulate your immune system and create that response that's going to, again, it's tough because it's like for all of the things. So like whatever specifically you're using it for, it's going to target that and like create an immune response for that, like whatever it might be.
Yes, exactly. And again, so they're, just using that homeopathic line, like again, you can cover almost every single ailment possible. Sore muscles, like there's a ton. Another one that we have from there is arnica. I actually used that the other day when I got hit in the face with a cow. I was in the barn and I was walking out of the feed room, and one of our cows got spooked and ran through the barn, and obviously didn't know I was in the process of walking out of that door, and his body hit the door hit my face, and my glasses actually took like a nice chunk out of like my eyebrow area. So instantly it was bleeding everywhere. Instantly it was swollen. My first thought was like, I hope we have arnica, because I really don't want to rock a black and blue eye all week. So I did a little bit of arnica that night. Again, it's like little pellets. And so I put some lavender on it, and there's a cut and a scab, but no bruising, no swelling after the fact. Yeah, like the first day it was swollen, but then after the fact that all went down. But yeah, arnica is for pain relief, muscle soreness, bruising, swelling, all that stuff.
We have an arnica gel that we use for Sage. Like she gets bumps and bruises all the time, and so we use that for her. I mean, adults can use it too, but specifically, like we got it and use it mainly for her because she's constantly just like falling and running into things and doing so I was like, I really need to stock up on this before summer.
Yes. What are some that you can think of?
We use a lot of the Sovereign Silver, which I think you're going to talk about. But with my congestion, I have been using the Sovereign Silver nose spray, and that has made a huge difference. It's super helpful. And then the other thing that I'm using congestion-wise is the brand. It's supposed to say clear, but it's with an X, so I don't know if it's like Xlear or like I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's Xlear. But they have like a nasal wash with just like saline solution. And it's like a bottle that you like squirt water up and it like rinses out your nose.
I love that.
It's like obviously satisfying.
It's fun.
Yes.
It's a lot of it. I just like watch what comes out. I'm like, that's interesting.
Yeah. So that's been huge. But they also have they're a really good brand for like a nose spray. So I have that too, and they have kids products too, which is cool. So that's recently what I've been using.
What she will be using as soon as she leaves here. And then again, going back to a couple of the kid things, we have Gaia Kids. I have a sinus support. It's like an oil tincture that you just put under their tongue to talk about sinuses. It is a little potent and strong. Like Shay doesn't love that one. It's got like echinacea and stuff in it. It has a berry-ish flavor from whatever's in it, but it is a little bit strong. So instead of like just putting it right to their mouth, I think that probably trying to like mask that up in a juice or something would be best. And I only had to give that to her once in the spring when we first moved down here. And again, cold calm, throat calm, we love those. I take that a lot, like the cold calm. Anytime I'm a very like again, you have sinus issues right now. If I am to get sick, it's a sinus infection. That is my go-to. I've had sinus surgery years ago to correct polyps and stuff. Sinuses are just not my area of greatness. So I definitely use the cold calm whenever I feel like a little sniffle or anything like that, just to prevent a sinus infection from setting in. I'm sure I don't know if it would so much clear up a sinus infection once I had it. It might, but I know for sure that I use it as a preventative, and we've been here almost a year, and I haven't had a sinus infection since. So that's, you know, for me, really good. I used to get them like every other month.
Yeah. I think that's really important too, is like, you know, when you're like about to get sick, or you're like at like the very cusp, and so having some of these things that you can lean on to try to like mediate it right at that moment, or to at least help it to not be as severe as maybe it would, to where then you have to go to the doctor and get an antibiotic or whatever the case may be. But having these as like your first line of defense even is huge. And we lean on it more heavily, like we don't really go to the doctor, but also we don't really get sick because of the things that we do and the lifestyle that we've created. So
all the preventative care.
And so if it is something like congestion, like sinus, like I wouldn't go to the doctor for this anyway. So having these things that I can help support my body to get over it quickly is really big. Another thing that is like easy to get is local honey. So I'm just thinking of things as we're sitting here, like local honey. So that's something that we make sure that we do is there's actually a beekeeper, I guess, that's like very, very close to our house, and you can buy their local honey at the local grocery stores, and our coffee shop even sells it, so it's really easy to just get it. To just get it right there. And so we stay stocked up on local honey, because local honey is important, because the bees are pollinating and they're being exposed to all the things that you also are, and so it just helps your immune system, like it's very similar. And so we do a lot of local honey with it's like one of the only sweeteners that we use. And so that's something that we always have on hand. And with this like congestion thing, I did have a couple days where I had a cough, and just taking a spoonful of honey is a really good like cough suppressant. And you're getting all of the other benefits of honey, which are like antimicrobial, antibacterial, it's like soothing. All like honey itself is very, very like powerful medicinal thing that's been used for centuries. So just like an easy thing that you probably already have on hand.
I like that. Again, kind of now that you're talking about food, it's like, oh wait, there's a couple things too. So we have turmeric that we use. We have, what is a ginger? So actually in the morning, Danielle got me into not having coffee like as soon as I wake up, waiting until I have food in my stomach. So I've replaced my morning coffee with raw milk, a dash of organic maple syrup, and then a dash of organic vanilla, and then turmeric and ginger as well. And turmeric and ginger are very good for you, very anti-inflammatory and all the things. So, and I feel like the ginger like soothes my throat in the morning. Like sometimes if I wake up with a little bit of a scratchy throat, that definitely soothes it. And then I pour that over a raw egg yolk, and then I blend it up and drink that. So that's actually, you know, a good food source of like medicine, I guess you could say.
Or just like, usually when we record, we drink a cup of tea. So like these traditional medicinal teas, there's, you know,
we do throat coat,
so we're trying not to like cough all in your ears, but you know, there's teas that can boost your milk supply, there's teas that can help you detox, there's teas that support your liver, there's like
immunity tea.
So there's a ton of different ways that you can easily just do that, and you can buy traditional medicinals, organic tea at like I think any grocery store. So they're really cost-effective, easy ways to get like a more herbal kind of infusion kind of.
That makes sense. A couple obvious ones are like vitamin C and vitamin D. You know, you want to make sure that you're getting those. And then a newer supplement that we started taking but we absolutely love is the Ancestral Supplements. And they have a bunch, and I want to eventually take them all because I like love that company. But for right now, I started with the grass-fed beef liver, the minerals, and the beef tallow. So I can't eat just like raw beef. I've tried like a beef, what is like that mixture?
Pate.
Yes, I was like, oh, like I could do this. Oh, nope, can't do that either. So I tried a couple different ways, and I'm like, okay, I just need it freeze-dried and put into pill form because that's the only way to do it. And the more I learn about beef liver, like it just
blows. It is like a multivitamin. It is the multivitamin.
It blows my mind. And like, you know, like I think you and Nick are the ones that told me that first started that kick. It's like, you know, back in the day when like in the primal stage, like the highest up people or the people that got the kill, like the heads of the tribe, they would eat the organ meats. Like that was like the luxury, was to get the organ meats. And everybody else kind of started getting the other meats that we now eat today. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. So
they're so nutrient dense. Whereas muscle meats, there's a lot of great things about muscle meats, but your organ meats are the most nutrient dense.
Yes.
That you can have.
What I thought was really cool was actually on the Ancestral Supplements bottle that I was reading this morning, was that it was said back in the day that if you needed like liver support, eat a liver. If you need heart support, eat a heart. Like all the things from a healthy animal, obviously.
Yeah.
But all those things, like apparently, exactly.
I recently started taking the placenta one. There's like a woman one. Yeah. So
we did our placentas, like our placenta, but you're doing somebody else's placenta.
Yeah. So Nick was, because we do the Ancestral Supplements, we do the liver one, and then another one, and then Nick does, they have like a men specific like hormone one, and they have a woman specific hormone one, which is out of stock, but he's like, but they have a placenta one, would you take a placenta one? I was like, I'll try it. I'll try it. So I've been taking that for like a week or so, maybe. It's like very, very new, but because I mean, it's the same thing.
That's crazy.
It's not my placenta.
Yeah, like I don't know if I can get somebody else. But I mean, it's just like somebody or another creature's beef liver. So. Yeah, that's wild. That's great. And I did see that on the website, but I was like, no, I'm not breastfeeding. I'm not any of the things, so I don't know if that would.
No, the only thing that you shouldn't take it when you're pregnant.
Don't take it when you're pregnant. So that's so interesting.
No.
I feel like it would be the opposite way.
Huh.
So like right now, even though I'm not breastfeeding, I'm not trying to have a baby, nothing, I could and should be taking it.
I don't know. I feel like be taking it.
Because I feel like the only time like in nature that you would take a placenta is like after you deliver your offspring.
Right, but helping with your hormones can be beneficial, especially, I mean, our whole series here has been like how to not jack up your hormones with all these endocrine disruptors, which we're constantly inundated by, even if you're trying to do the very best thing, like the person next to you is wearing perfume and that's like affecting you. So
that's crazy.
Look into it.
Let me know how you feel a little bit. I love that. Switching gears back to the kids, we have the Highlands Tiny Cold Tablets. Again, just another like cold defender. I've heard of Zarbee's products being pretty good. Trying to see anything else on the, and then I always butcher this one, the Mullein garlic oil for earaches and ear infections. That's one that you just put right directly into their ear. They don't ingest that. That's not like an oral one. Just right into the ear, and that's supposed to help as well. Do you have any? Oh, there's a couple other ones. But what else do you have?
Another thing with ear infections is get your kids adjusted at the chiropractor, and 80% of ear infections will go away. We also, you like the brand Wellements. We have used like their, when Sage was little, like the gripe water.
Yes.
They have like they have a ton of stuff. They have like constipation support. They have a whole line of.
We use every Wellements product on our kids. Like when they were like babies mostly, but yeah.
And then another brand that has like more natural version, like it has the natural alternatives of common like over-the-counter things, is called Genexa, like Genexa. That has some really good like quality things. And then one more thing is like juices. So like prune juice if you're constipated, or cranberry juice if you get a UTI. Like just we keep things like that in stock just in case, because it's like, oh, I woke up at 3 a.m. I'm not gonna like go to the store, but I feel like I might have a UTI. I've only ever had one UTI in my whole life, and it was when I was pregnant. And that's exactly what happened. I like woke up in the middle of the night and I was like, something's wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is.
I have to pee, but I cannot pee.
I don't know what this is, but this is not enjoyable. I don't know what to do. And so we had to wait until the next day to like figure out, like go to the store and get cranberry juice. And I got this other supplement, Cranactin, which is a good thing to have on hand too. And so just having things like that in stock, just in case it happens. Maybe it never will, but if it does, I I can immediately start to remedy the situation.
Travis always jokes like at our medicine cabinet because like there's so many things in there, but again, like we never really have to use them, thankfully, knock on wood. But you know, I'd rather have it and know that I have it rather than want it in the middle of the night or whatever the case may be. There is another thing that I used on my eye when I got hit in the face with a cow, is the Sovereign Silver first aid gel. So it's just like a topical healing. It's what you would use instead of what's
like
that?
A Neosporin.
Like a Neosporin.
Like a first aid cream.
Any type of cuts or injuries, whether it's the kids or me, like on my eye, just a little dab of that under a Band-Aid or just, put it on and leave it, out to air is really good. Another thing talking about like injuries or cuts or scrapes is the helichrysum oil. It's also known as liquid stitches. It's just if you get cut, and I used it not long ago. I was, slicing something up in the kitchen and cut my finger. Turned around, grabbed the helichrysum oil, put just one little dot on, and like instantly stopped bleeding. Yeah,
it's really good for like nosebleeds and stuff too. You just roll it over. Mine's in a roller. You just roll it over the bridge of your nose. That's what I was gonna say. We use oils for a lot of things, like roller bottles or sinuses. This is where my head's at right now. Like a steam mug where you just fill up literally a mug with water and let it heat up to steaming, not boiling, and you put some drops in and you like breathe them in through your nose. We end up using oils a lot.
What oils do you usually use for the steam?
We do like peppermint, lemon, lavender if it's like an allergy congestion, tea tree, oregano as like a heavy hitter if it's like a sinus infection-y kind of thing, or you could use like On Guard, like the immunity blend. But that's something that's usually one of our first go-tos is to start doing a steam mug if we have like any kind of like congestion-y cold, like head coldy thing that's gonna try to set in. Yeah.
No, we use that as well, especially like the lavender, peppermint, lemon combination for sinuses. I'm not sure if you've heard of this, but it just kind of came to mind, something I remembered from back when the kids were little. Somebody told me that if they were not feeling well or anything like that, that you could put like garlic and onion, like cloves and onion slices, kind of like crush it a little bit so like the juices are kind of coming out. Put it in the at the bottom of the kid's feet and put a sock gun over it.
I've heard
and,
of
like,
maybe onion, and I've also heard like potatoes.
Potatoes I haven't heard of. I heard of
Potatoes,
garlic.
yeah.
I've also heard of garlic under your tongue. And like take a whole garlic clove and just put it under your tongue and just chill with it there. And I did that once and it really did, it cleared me up like within an hour. I could not believe it. I was like, it tasted, I mean, I love garlic. I love garlic. But this was strong. For it to be under your tongue, at first it kind of burns a little bit. I was like, oof. So I kept moving it like around like side to side because kind of like if you hold anything under your tongue for too long, like that one side gets a little crazy. So I moved back and forth, but by the end of the hour, I was absolutely feeling better. I was like, that's crazy. So yeah, I've done under my tongue. I have never done the sock trick with the onions or
I can't sleep with
the
socks
garlic.
on.
I know my kids do like often, so or like the footy pajamas or something. So yeah, I don't know if that one works, but I definitely have heard that before.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I don't know like the science or like the methodology behind it, but those like old wives tricks, I mean, most of them work.
Most of them work, absolutely. Another supplement company that we enjoy and that we use is Mary Ruth. Organics.
Yep.
We definitely like them. And then the last one I had written down that quickly I was just telling Danielle about really quick was the Garden of Life Kids Supplements. I do the immunity gummies and the probiotic because I've had a hard time finding like a gummy or any type of probiotic or immunity supplement that my kids enjoy taking, and they're both young, they're 2 and 4, so they need something that they can like chew up. Usually like the powdery like ones they just don't like. I haven't gotten them to like that, so they gravitate more towards the gummies. But again, especially like Tegan will kind of take whatever. She's very picky. So I found the Garden of Life ones at our favorite health food store, the Food Matters ones, and I was all excited. And then tell them what you told me.
So a couple years ago, Garden of Life was bought by Nestle, which doesn't necessarily mean that it's now bad, but depending on where you want to spend your money, you might not like that. Or since a bigger company has taken over this small company, like how long is the quality gonna stay the same? You just don't know. So that's just something that is disappointing and happens to a lot of like our favorite brands over time. And you're like, dang it.
Yeah. And like I said, I was like, well, you know what? I mean, I'll start the search for like another one.
But it's working right now.
It's working right now, and if I don't find another one for a while, like I am okay with it. The ingredients are so clean on the label and everything.
Right.
So it's just one of those things like I don't trust Nestle as a company, so the fact that they bought that company is a little like, ooh, I just don't know. Yeah. But again, we'll roll with it for now. You know, keep an eye on it, and then if anything changes, we would leave. But for right now, my kids do really enjoy it, and it seems to be working. They're healthy and doing well. Do you have any other ones?
I don't have any more. Do you have any more?
I don't.
Okay,
that's it.
I did want to mention, so a lot of these things are, like we said, things that we have on hand that we're not necessarily using maybe at all, or definitely not every day. In my like research that I'm doing right now, I have a lot of people ask me like, well, what multivitamin should I be taking, and what about this, and what do you take? Yes. What do you take every day? And I'm like, honestly, you should be aiming to get your vitamins and your minerals and all these things from your food, good quality food. Then, you know, what does the word supplement mean? You're supplementing something else. So then that's where you look in and you see, what areas am I missing? What gaps do I need to fill in? And it might not be an everyday thing. And then say I need vitamin D. Maybe you get your tests done, and blood tests aren't always the best way, because a lot of our vitamins and minerals are in our muscles, and so getting a blood test doesn't really show the true levels that you have, and levels can fluctuate throughout the day. And so like you could get your blood drawn in an hour and get it drawn in another hour, and it can be totally different. So those kinds of tests aren't always super accurate, and we want really accurate. Like we want to know, like, what are my numbers? Like, what is this level? Okay, what is it supposed to be? How do I get it? Like, we really want that. But if you're eating a really well-rounded diet and you're trying to do that, you should be pretty good. Areas that you can improve on, like we said, we do take liver supplements every day.
Because we are not eating that.
Because we're not eating that. And even if we were, we wouldn't be eating it every day, because you would be getting too much. The reason that you can take liver pills, like zhuzhed up supplements every day, is because you're getting such a small amount versus if you were eating like 4 ounces of liver. You wouldn't eat 4 ounces of liver every single day. That would be too much. So that is something that I do feel comfortable with taking every day, because the benefits and the nutrient density of that and the way that my body is going to be able to use it. So like you mentioned, vitamin D, your body is going to actually absorb 2 times more the amount of vitamin D from the sun than any supplement.
Yes.
And so if you can, and vitamin D acts more of a hormone in your body than it is an actual vitamin, so that's where people can get tricky. And then you also have to think about...
We really only supplement that, I feel like, in the winter. Well, no, we're not getting outside.
And then if you think about that, like, there are certain vitamins and minerals that are going to work well together, and then there are certain where if you're taking too much of one, it's going to diminish the effects of the other. And so it's a really fine-tuned process, and it is very individualized. So anyone who's like, everyone needs to be taking a multivitamin, because, I mean, I definitely used to be this person, and then you learn more. Like our soil is depleted. The minerals and the nutrients in our foods are not where they used to be, but that doesn't mean that you need everyone across the board, this blanket statement that everyone needs to be taking a multivitamin. That's just not the case. And if you think about the quality of the supplements that most people are taking, the supplement industry is not regulated. It is not heavily regulated, and so usually you're getting fillers and you're getting the synthetic versions of these vitamins, and your body just doesn't know what to do with that. It can't work with that. There are certain ways that these work better with our bodies in just their natural forms, let alone if you give your body a synthetic version. It's like, I don't friggin' know what to do with this. And so you're literally just peeing it all out. And so that's such a blanket statement of like, everyone should be taking this supplement and you need to make sure that you're supplementing this, and like, you really, really need to do like a deep dive and look at the foods that you're eating, figuring out like your individual individuality is gonna factor in with what you should or shouldn't be taking, and what season of life you're in, and what stressors you have going on in your life. And it's such a more complicated discussion than just, here's a women's one a day daily.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah.
And so finding like a good either functional medical doctor or a naturopath or someone who's going to really like fine tune and look at you as an individual and your lifestyle and all of the things, like, and creating like a comprehensive like overview, then you're really going to be able to figure out, because you don't want to be wasting your money if you're buying these things, like to buy things to have for first aid or to buy things to have on hand, like if you know that you might need it later is different. But buying supplements like every month and you're spending hundreds of dollars every month on these supplements, they might not even be doing anything for you.
Yeah.
And so that's an area where you can really like make a big change and probably save money too. So I just wanted to throw that in there.
Real quick, when you were hitting on like the blood tests and how like they change, or like, is there another test that you think is accurate?
So, well, it depends. It depends on what you're looking at. And I am definitely not an expert in this area. I'm still very much learning myself, but a hair and tissue sample is another really good option. Because, I mean, think about your hair is going to have more information in it.
Hold it longer,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
And then I've heard people doing like saliva and like fecal and stool.
Yep.
Like again, like you said, depending on the different things that we're looking at. But I can't think of the name of it right now, but I think it's like the big five labs or something like that. Yeah, my husband and I got those, and what I like about that approach, just to once a year check your whole body, check everything, is that they do a little bit of everything. You got blood, saliva, urine, fecal, all of that. I don't know if they do a hair sample. I'm not sure about that. But I like that approach to once a year, just kind of keeping a finger and a tab on everything, and then doing whatever testing you feel you need throughout the year as well. So a lot of this can be like preventative care as well, just by knowing what's going on with your body. And again, like you said, a lot of women or a lot of people in general will just go and get their blood drawn once a year, but like that can change from like 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock. So will you get some information? Yeah, but
is it the most accurate?
Yeah.
No.
And then you don't want to be put on something that you didn't really need.
Right.
And then have a doctor, somebody like, okay, you need this for life.
Yeah.
Like I remember one time when I was a kid, I don't even remember what I was like there for. I was there at the doctor with my mom. They said I needed like a cholesterol pill for the rest of my life. I swear, I think I was 16. I was like, maybe it's because like we just had McDonald's before we got here, because we were not like the healthiest family always growing up. And I remember like my mom, she was an EMT, so she was into like medicine and all that, but she filled the prescription, she got home, she made me take it for like 2 days, and she was just like, you're not going to take this for like your whole life. Like something like her motherly instinct kicked in, and she's like, we're not doing this. Like, this is crazy. So you definitely have to be your own advocate, which we've mentioned before. Take your own health into your own hands. Nobody's going to care more about your health than you.
Yes.
I think preventative care is the best care.
Yep.
And like you said, I think majority of it should be done through what you're putting in your mouth.
Yes.
Instead of just supplements, what are we eating? What does our diet look like? Are we getting the proper minerals? Are you drinking enough water? Are you drinking too much water? That's another thing too. You could just be peeing everything out. Your body doesn't have time to absorb it yet. And that sounds overwhelming a lot, but if you break it down into little sections and just start to learn one thing at a time, that's going to be your best approach. Don't overwhelm yourself, just start to educate yourself.
Yep. Swap out one product at a time. Change one meal every day for a week, and then change the next meal, and then change a snack. Like, it doesn't have to be all or nothing.
I agree. Well, I think that's all that we have on this topic.
Yep.
Stay tuned next week as we just kind of dive into our COVID stories and explain our experiences with COVID, our thoughts, our feelings, all that good stuff.